It is arguably the most significant and mysterious relic in the Christian world and lies hidden away wrapped in red silk, stored in a silver chest in the Cathedral of St. John the Baptist in Turin, Italy. The Shroud of Turin is a rectangular linen measuring approximately 14 feet by 3.5 feet and bearing the yellowish image of a front and back view of a naked man with his hands folded across his groin. It is believed by many to be the actual burial shroud of Jesus and to contain evidence of his resurrection. Dr. Alan Wanger is a professor emeritus at Duke University Medical Center and founder of the Council for the Study of the Shroud of Turin.
What we see on the shroud has all the evidence of the beating, the nailing, the crucifixion, and the time of death and so forth, would indicate that this is exactly parallel to the Scriptures.
For some, the cloth is undeniably the burial shroud of our Lord, and for others, it is a clever medieval forgery. Various tests have been performed on the shroud, yet the debates about its origin continue. Radiocarbon dating in 1988 by 3 independent teams of scientists yielded results published in Nature, which seem to indicate that the shroud was made during the Middle Ages, approximately 1,300 years after Jesus lived. But Dr. Wanger and others argue that the radiocarbon results from 1988 are invalid because the sample fibers used were in fact not part of the original woven linen.
They said that it was dated between 1260 and 1390, which we never believed for a moment. So we knew the carbon dating couldn't possibly be correct. The big question is, how in the world would they ever get such erroneous date as that? And that we got a copy of the video of them taking this single sample that they took. They took it from one corner of the shroud where repairs had been undertaken. We observed that there were very abnormal stiff threads running out from the seam into the material that they use for the carbon dating. This immediately struck us that this is a repaired or rewoven part of the shroud.
If in fact the shroud is a fake dating from the 13th century, the forgers would have had a very sophisticated knowledge of anatomy, physiology, chemistry, and botany. Then there's the actual image on the linen. It's been established scientifically the image was not painted on the cloth. Photographic analysis has revealed that the image is in fact a negative image, essentially an X-ray. But it gets better. One of the most amazing properties of the shroud is that it contains depth information, which can be used to create a 3D model, which is exactly what NASA did in 1976 using a VP8 image analyzer. Think about that. A 3D holographic negative imprint produced in the Middle Ages. Dr. Wanger.
You can't reproduce it now, much less in the Middle Ages. Part of the finding is that the shroud is in part what we call an autoradiograph. That is that you can see the good bit of the skeletal features on the shroud. As you can see the bones in the hands, in the wrist. You can see bones in the skull. You can see 24 teeth, roots, and all are visible on the shroud. Absolutely unheard of.
If we want to believe the shroud is not genuine, then we have to consider some basic questions. How did the faker of relics accomplish this? Why a negative image when a positive image would have been more convincing? How did he create a suitable negative picture hundreds of years before the discovery of photographic negativity? If the shroud is real, and I for one believe that it is, then there's only one logical explanation for how the image was produced. Radiation from the resurrection event left an image on the linen as Jesus' resurrected body passed miraculously through the shroud. O death, where is thy sting? O Hades, where is thy victory? I'm Richard Syrett.